Nearly a decade after the last brand new Mario and Luigi game, the franchise has made an unexpected yet welcome return. The past year alone has already seen the revival of the genre with the remix of Super Mario RPG and Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, and Brothership continues that trend by being the only original release of the three. Now fully 3D modeled and featuring beautifully rendered cutscenes, the series has successfully transitioned to home consoles while maintaining the unique charm and gameplay it is known for. However, considering this title serves as a soft reset for the series after its original developer shut down a few years back, one has to wonder, does Brothership truly live up to its past titles? While I don't think Nintendo missed the boat by any means, the game certainly suffers from a few key issues that unfortunately hold it back from being the best in the series. As the name implies, this time around, the Mario Brothers find themselves on a ship-shaped island that serves as the game's main hub. It is from here that you are then tasked with finding the rest of the scattered islands that make up the fractured world of Concordia. Find an island using the minimap, get to its lighthouse by completing its scenario, and connect it to your ship to bring the world back together. That is the main gameplay loop of Brothership, and honestly, I have grown quite fond of it. By placing the player in a new locale every few hours, it ensures new ideas are constantly being introduced and not one place overstays its welcome. It is on these islands that you will be battling enemies, finding trinkets, and solving clever puzzles requiring the cooperation of both brothers. The game even introduces a new mechanic that commands Luigi to do various actions with the press of the L button, such as collecting nearby items or helping you solve puzzles. This is a welcome addition that makes Luigi feel more like an active member, not to mention the return of the Burrows moves out in the field, such as turning into a flying UFO to cross big gaps or rolling up into a ball to access smaller areas, which also serves to keep the exploration interesting. Part of me does miss having a single connected world like the old titles, but after all, connections, and the lack thereof, is a major theme in the game. While the story is nothing to be amazed at, I was pleasantly surprised by it at times, especially towards the latter half. The writing, however, was a bit of a letdown, which is a shame considering it's often one of the biggest strengths of the genre. There were a few parts that made me laugh out loud, sure, but for the most part, the humor was just not working for me. And while the characters are cute, their personalities fell a bit flat compared to the quirky, fun characters that I'm used to in the series. Perhaps part of it is due to just how much the game exploded with the necessary dialogue that's constantly holding your hand. I am glad the game has the option to speed this dialogue up, because I found myself using it pretty much all the time. Where Brothership really excels though, it's in its battle system, which is arguably the most fun and engaging yet. Timing button inputs to jump on, hammer, and vaporize your enemies using Burrows attacks remains as satisfying as ever, and learning new enemies' attack patterns to properly counter them keeps battles feeling fresh. The boss battles particularly stand out, as not only are they challenging, but also utilize the new Luigi logic mechanic, which sees Luigi using the environment in clever ways to gain the upper hand. The addition of battle plugs further enhances the experience. They essentially serve as the equivalent to badges in the Paper Mario series, granting special effects to your actions, such as making counters easier or granting your attacks an AoE. They can also be swapped out in the middle of battle and synergized in unique ways, so there's quite a bit of depth in here. It is just a shame that it takes around 10 hours of gameplay to even access this feature. That is actually one of my biggest gripes with this game. It takes an unnecessarily long time for it to get going, both gameplay and story-wise. For the first few hours, the locales you visit are not very interesting, there's no antagonistic force driving the story forward, and you're stuck fighting the same enemies with very limited combat options. It takes a while just for you to even obtain the hammers, which is such a staple of the series. Thankfully, once you get access to more moves, battle plugs, and the main antagonist is introduced, you're in for a real treat, as some of the islands you visit and the enemies you fight later on are extremely fun and creative. Mario and Luigi Brothership is a game that at its highest really does feel like the best in the series, but at its lowest, it is frankly the least fun I've had with any Mario and Luigi game. And yes, I am talking about those first few hours. Yes, it has too much dialogue, yes, it has a slow start, yes, it holds your hand too much, and yes, it plays it a bit safe. But once it gets rolling, there's a lot to love here. It has a surprisingly interesting story, gorgeous visuals, fun puzzle solving, and the best combat system the series has seen. So in the end, it is not a bad game by any means, just a bit underwhelming considering it has been such a long wait for the series revival. Regardless, I am still extremely happy the Mario and Luigi franchise is back after thinking it was gone for good, and I really hope it is here to stay.